Hey folks, Carmine Sabia here for Explain America. You know, when you think the news can't get more devastating for Joe Biden, the hits just keep on coming. Now, in our last video, we talked to you about a recent poll that showed, in fact, the most recent poll came out Sunday from ABC, Washington Post, which are two pretty liberal sources. And it showed that Biden is trailing Trump by 7 points in a general election match between the two. 7 points. That is a drubbing. That is a curb stomping. That is brutal. But what's even more brutal? Well, a former advisor of, yes, former President Bill Clinton, he came out and he said that Trump is the one, not Biden. Trump is the one who can unite this country. He talked about nuclear fusion instead of nuclear detonation, which, you know, could be considered apropos considering everything that's going on with Russia and us inching closer to nuclear something or other. It's very scary with Mr. Magoo in the driver's seat. So let's take a look and hear what he had to say.
Well, we use nuclear fission to generate power and nuclear energy, and we do the same thing in politics, where we split an atom, it splits other atoms, and it causes a chain reaction that leads to an explosion. That's how we govern our politics. We divide, we use the division to generate energy. But there's also nuclear fusion, where you bring stuff together and you combine two helium atoms, and that generates a vast amount of power and very few byproducts. It seems to me that the political world is round, not linear. It's not right, center, left on a continuum. It's a circular process. The left and the right agree with each other on a lot of stuff, and they disagree with the center, the establishment, the deep state, the surveillance society, call it what you will. And I think that there's a tremendous politics here, a fusion of the left and the right. And Bobby Kennedy, I think, is opening the door to it. And I think Donald Trump could walk through it.
Now, that man is Dick Morris. He knows more about politics than most of us ever will. He worked with former President Bill Clinton, and he has been working with President Trump. He has worked with him in the past. And what he's saying is really spot on. Joe Biden did not bring this country together. We are more divided than ever. Look at the news. Look outside. Look out your window. Look in the world. We are more divided in this nation than we ever have been. Whose fault is that? Whose? It's somebody's fault, right? It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's somebody's fault, right? Somebody who's been put in charge of the country. I often call, President Joe Biden Mr. Magoo, and the United States is the car. And if you're old enough to get that reference, but if you're not old enough to get that reference, you can just, YouTube Mr. Magoo driving a car, and you'll get the reference. The point is, Mr. Magoo's blind, basically, and he's driving a car. And that's kind of Joe Biden. He's kind of driving blind at the head of the car that is the United States, and it's scary. It's frightening for a lot of us. You're watching the economy go off a cliff. You're watching inflation reach record highs. And the Democrats are going on, hey, Biden's going to run on his record. What record? What record? I wouldn't want to campaign on that record. But Biden, apparently he does, because he believes, and Democrats, I think, believe, that people care more about social justice than they do about their pockets. And if you're in California, or a liberal city in California, I should say, or New York City, or a place like that, you probably believe it too. Believe me, I live right near New York City. But when you get to talk to actual Americans about their actual problems in the actual world, and if you're not rich, if these people are not rich, then they care about issues that affect them personally. If you got a lot of money, you shrug off a lot of things. But if you don't, then there are things that are very important to you. Those are the things Joe Biden's failing at. I also think the division in this country, as Morris says, that could be the thing that breaks us as a nation. We have to come together. And Biden's not accomplishing that goal. Folks, again, I'm Carmine Sabia. I want to thank you for joining us here at Explain America. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.